we've set Birmingham's Castlevale School and Performing Arts College a challenge to turn itself as green as possible in just one term. We brought in an energy expert to help them change their culture and target huge annual savings.
You're looking at savings of £10,000 a year.
But getting staff to engage wasn't easy.
Unfortunately, there are a handful who really don't see the environment as an issue.
In previous programmes, we've seen Castlevale implement simple, zero-cost energy-saving measures, paper recycling and a switch-off policy that led to measurable cuts in consumption.
The bottom line is, we've made savings of 5% year on year. That's equal to nearly £2,500 a year.
Not a bad start, but with the Christmas break looming, has Castlevale done enough to ensure a greener future for themselves?
We're going green!
These lights are on. We'll have to turn them off.
Yep. Honestly, Nickel. What? The lights are on in the room, so we've turned them off for you.
Naming and shaming teachers is just one strategy that Castlevale School's Green Team have adopted to help cut energy bills. But it's working. Just a month after an energy survey pointed out just how much money the school was wasting, Castlevale is hitting its short-term goals to change its culture and save money.
In the mornings, I would come in and turn all my lights on. Yep. Now I just turn just the one strip of lights on and I can work by that light until all the kids come in the morning.
That is excellent, because if the teachers lead by example and set the standard for the pupils to follow, that's brilliant.
In this programme, you'll see the school working hard to keep the momentum going. Students get involved reducing their carbon footprint by planting trees.
Some of them think that they're planting trees so they can get out of lessons.
Environmental issues begin to be reflected across the curriculum.
Electricity becomes so expensive that people can't afford to use it.
Yeah, it's true. Think green.
Go green!
And Green champion NQT Jordan Kelly visits a primary school with a wind turbine.
I was told that they were as noisy as a car driving along the motorway.
No.
And they're not at all, are
Not
they?
at all.
It's
Not at all.
You can't hear it.
No.
But will Castlevale be able to keep up the pace of change in the long term? When our energy champion Ken Heaton dropped into his office a month ago,
Mr. Bennett.
Deputy Head Richard Bennett was collared for wasting a lot of energy.
Lights on. Spotlight on. PC in standby mode. Mr. Bennett is in trouble.
But it seems he's learnt his lesson.
Hard lesson learned from the work that you've been doing with the school, actually, which has made a big difference to me in terms of my working habits, because as you'll probably recall, this was not a shining example of what we should be doing. And so after a lot of thought and discussion with some of the youngsters, we made some promises to improve, and one of the things that you've clearly already gathered is that we're now using much more natural light in this room and working here where the natural light can aid me in what I need to do.
It's not just changing habits that have brought success at Castlevale. Technology is being used to save energy too. The IT team set all the school's PCs to hibernate.
Basically, when you hibernate your computer, it pauses everything you're doing on the screen and allows the computer to completely turn off. So then you can leave it for a day or a week or however long you want to, come back, turn the computer back on and resume from where you were. So for instance, say with the BGFL websites, we're looking at that, but then say we need to turn the computer off. We'll now just do shutdown, select hibernate from the list and click OK. And the computer will prepare to go into hibernation. Like that. So now the computer is off. Notice how I can completely remove the power supply and that's off. So then we put this back in, hit the power button. Now what you'll notice is it'll turn on exactly the same way as it does normally, but this time it'll be increasingly faster. See, it's ready to go. And you're back where you were before. The computers will hibernate after the end of a lesson, so after a period of an hour, once they haven't been used, they'll go off into hibernation mode.
Paper recycling's really taking off since green bins have been supplied to every classroom. The dining hall has now got new bins to encourage pupils to sort out their food waste. And the D&T department are doing their bit too, using reclaimed wood.
One of the teachers lives close to an industrial estate where there's a kitchen manufacturer, and we went up there with my car and the trailer, and we've rescued probably £500–600 worth of oak. So the students are still dealing with good quality material, but it's not brand new off the shelf, it's offcuts from industry. And there should be more of that. I mean, the industry chucks out so much stuff, it's unbelievable.
Using thermostatic radiator valves to control the central heating was one of the key suggestions in the energy survey carried out by Ken Heaton. But ancient pipework means site manager Martin Field has to compromise.
This is a typical installation in the school. As you can see, we've got very old, large pipework, old, useless valves in many cases, and also that right hard up underneath the shelving that's above, or they're fully enclosed in. So the TRVs, we've decided, aren't going to be the way we're going to go. But just so that we can get some form of control in, we're going to have ordinary on-off valves fitted on all the radiators.
Another of the suggestions in the survey is feasible though. Low-cost reflectors will cut down heat loss through the walls.
As far as the radiator panels are concerned, it's much better news. We've actually managed to get hold of a sample, and this is great. This, all it has to do is just slide down the back of the radiator like that, fixed in place with some double-sided tape, and bingo, and that's it. And it's unbelievable because it's 10 quid or thereabouts, supplied and fitted. Cheap as chips.
NQT Jordan Kelly leads the Castlevale Green team. He wants students to broaden their approach to sustainability beyond the school community. He arranges a tree planting project in collaboration with the Castlevale Community Environment Trust.
Well, they're not big. Some of them think that they're planting trees so they can get out of lessons, but in reality we're just trying to reduce the overall carbon footprint that the school is leaving.
We're going to be planting all along this fence, okay? We're going to try to keep safe walking distance because there's quite a few of us, okay?
Yeah.
They plant up a patch of reclaimed industrial land on the edge of the Castlevale housing estate using 8 native tree species.
What do trees
Let off oxygen.
let off oxygen, right? What do they take in from the atmosphere?
Carbon dioxide.
They do, and that's really important, isn't it? Why?
Because that means there'll be not as much gases.
In the atmosphere, okay? That you don't deserve your Christmas presents.
This was all once part of a wildlife walkway over here, and within a few weeks of it being built and put up, some kids came over and set fire to it and destroyed it all. We'd like to try and get that sort of up and running again and working again. Nice well down into it. Put it slightly to the one side again.
What produces carbon dioxide into the atmosphere? Cars, okay? Planes, petrol, factories. Our electricity comes from power stations, which release carbon dioxide. Our heating comes from power stations, which release carbon dioxide. All of the stuff that we're doing at school, just through our everyday lives, is helping release a load of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. So by planting these trees, we're just helping to reduce the climate change problem, because it is a big problem at the moment.
Jordan's researching renewable energy. A wind turbine on the roof could save money and provide Castlevale with a prominent symbol of their green intentions.
We've kind of got our short-term stuff done, and we're trying to think of something big that's going to excite people now that the interest of turning lights off is dropping slightly. And we're looking at possibilities of investing money in something like a wind turbine, and it should have a very visual impact when the kids are arriving to school. Hopefully they'll see it from quite a way down the road, and it will just show them that we are really willing to make a proper go of this going green. You can spend quite a bit of money on them. They range from about £1,000, £1,500, but you can go all the way up to, it says here, £18,000 for a 6 kilowatt one, but that is a big one. That's about the same size as a telegraph pole. So obviously I'd have to speak to Clive about getting some money. but I think he's fairly keen.
Jordan can fit most of his Going Green work into his timetable, but off-site visits need the head's agreement because cover's required.
I've found out about a primary school that I'd like to visit. They've got a wind turbine, and the kids are really, really involved in the green issues and stuff. And I think it'd be quite nice to see how the primary schools approach it, so that we can maybe look at the way we approach it for our Year 7s, make sure that we're sort of following on from the same sort of level.
I guess it's another day of cover, Jordan, you know, and it's going to cost us, but I think it's a really valuable thing to do. It'd be a really exciting thing, I think, to get a wind turbine on site if we could.
Yeah.
So, no, I'd be very happy for you to go, and if you report back on that and let us know how they're doing the wind turbine, whether they had to get planning permission, whether it was straightforward to get it on, and find out what they're powering. Because I don't know whether they power specific appliances or whether it logs into the whole network of electricity. I've really no idea on this, so I'll be really grateful to hear your ideas of what they're doing.
I'll write a report up and file it.
That'd be great. Perhaps one day you could do some teaching as well, Jordan, and stay in school for a day. But there we are.
With its huge coal-fired power station at Didcot, Oxfordshire's not a beacon for sustainable energy production. But search hard and you'll find that wind power has played its part here for quite a while. Berrinsfield Community Primary School have recently installed a 6-kilowatt wind turbine. Costing £20,000, it was financed by the County Council and a DTI grant. It supplies green energy and cuts their annual electricity bill by £1,200. Jordan takes school governor Barry Williams with him. He'll need his support for Castle Vale's turbine.
The council approached me and said, would I like a wind turbine? And I said, I'd love a wind turbine.
When I initially inquired about getting a wind turbine at Castle Vale, I was told that the noise would be a factor and that they were as noisy as a car driving along the motorway.
No.
And they're not at all, are
Not
they?
at all.
It's
not at all.
You can't hear it.
No.
No.
Well, I was a little bit concerned about health and safety, because the ones I've seen are sort of perched on a little bit of a broomstick, and you imagine the wind coming along and bending. That's not moving at all. The only thing that's moving are the actual fan itself, you know.
But if you saw what it was embedded in, it's just a huge block of concrete. Came and they dug out, I mean, massive hole, which is why it had to be done in the summer holidays, really, to make sure that none of the kids could get anywhere near it. But it has to be movable because it has to be winched down once a year. Just check it's okay.
Do you have to pay for that maintenance of the winch?
You do, but it isn't very expensive. It was only a couple of £100.
Right.
My benefit is the benefit of having this at my school, for the educational part for the children, and £1,200 a year I will save on electricity bills for my junior building.
But the educational part far outweighs the financial side, doesn't it, really?
Yeah, yes.
And it's lovely to look at.
Great.
Berrinsfield have used the turbine to put sustainability issues into learning, from foundation stage up to Year 6. Castle Vale's feeder schools don't have such a curriculum yet.
They all know about, the recycling bins everywhere. They know about turning the light switches off. They know, and I've heard the children say, maybe, Mrs. Sides, you've opened that window and the heating's on. They know all about that sort of thing in school.
So they're going to take those ideas into their secondary school.
And hopefully take them into their homes.
One of the things that I'm hoping for the future is that on Castle Vale, our feeder schools are going to be working to go green, and therefore our new intake of Year 7s, we won't have to teach them. They'll be teaching us the newer stuff, really, because it's been a struggle, particularly with our older kids.